Hello, let's try this again. Yeah, so sorry guys, I actually spent a lot of time recording the 11th and 12th, some analysis, put it all together, and found out after the fact that it didn't record my voice, so I'm starting over. I apologize if might sound different than if it was fresh, but it still hopefully will be interesting and educational and entertaining and all that. Let's go ahead and take a look. What happened is so we know that he landed here first, south of Medan. I actually don't remember the name of this base. He marched all the way up and took the bases as he went, but it looks like as he entered this hex and bombarded last turn, he's also dropping additional troops, and we get some guns shot at in his direction, but no effect there. And he just lost a disabled squad and other disabled equipment. Pardon me. And the 016 here didn't even get a shot off, and now we're getting hammered by his sub chaser, the CHA 28. All right, and it's doing a lot of damage. This is not pleasant. Um, Here in I keep saying here, although I don't know if this was recorded or unrecorded. What I've been saying recently is that if you're caught in the shallow water, these depth charges the Japanese have seem like they're extremely powerful. I'm not saying they are or aren't. I just am noticing that when they're in a hex that we're shallow or port, it's pretty deadly. So 7 hits and heavy damage. That's the most I've seen. Um, this is the most epic damage I've seen one of our subs take, especially in a single action. All right, the Mississippi and Idaho are over here at Johnston bombarding. One last bombardment before they head back to Pearl. And their escorts are joining in the fun as well. We got the Charleston here with its, I believe, I want to say 6-inch guns. Not 100% certain. It's been a while since I've looked at it, but but yeah. And it didn't do amazing damage, but you know, um, it was fine. Okay, now we're seeing some more. Now it's daylight, and we're seeing some more naval action, including this continual unload here, invasion support. I should clarify there. Okay, the I-173 gets a shot off in the direction of our destroyer. I'll tell you what this is. Well, this is a destroyer. I'll tell you what this task force is. It is our surface task force coming from San Francisco. It's moved pretty fast and it's almost here to Johnston. It will bombard tomorrow in preparation of our actual offloading and invasion and to finish off Johnston. Um, I did notice we get a looked like we got um, a lot of rattles, but no good contact. So that's that. All right, we've jumped into the air phase here. All right, so he spotted our harbor defense motor launches and just obliterates them with torpedoes. I mean, look at the word obliterated is literally used here. Now this one doesn't get obliterated, it's severe damage, but then it takes the second one and then just blows up. So all four of them here that were here was my hope. These are tiny things. My hope was if he comes to hit him, we'll just evade. But man, he just wrecked like in quick order. All right, we got Nels bombing Monado. Okay, he's bombing Indeni, and we take a disabled casualty there. Alright, so lilies are bombing Cebu. Yep, no discernible effect, but you know, could be fatigue, disruption. He's bombing Indeni with land-based air now, before it was carrier-based. Let's see, a lot of recon going on around the map here. Lily's bombing the crossroads north of Wenchao. Or, well, yeah, between Wenchao and Chusian. Okay. Probably the terrain helps. We didn't take any obvious damage. Mitchells and fortresses are bombing Cooktown. I don't know if the fires mean anything, but we did destroy a Nate, at least one. But we took damage even flying that high, 24,000 feet, right here. We didn't get much damage, partly because we're flying so high, and it is heavy rain. But the idea is to stay out of the flak, but man, it's still getting way up there. All right, we got B-17Ds bombing Johnston Island. Again, preparation for our own troop drop-offs. All right, some more recon there in China and, well, a lot of areas. All right, jumping into the PM phase. Sabang, that's, you know, things are still happening there. Supposedly hitting his submarine here, south of Suva, between Suva and south. I mean, what is it? Suva and anyway, we're bombing Kumok. There's going to be several more raids coming. Whatever the name of this base is, but anyway, supposedly we hit this sub here. I'm going to move on from that. So 13 Marauders, pretty decent hits here. Again, supply, but as we damage the base, also, he's going to be required to repair it, and that costs supplies also. Sabolga, I think we're frustrating him here mildly because he's got such an advantage, but we're still holding on, and it's probably getting annoying, and so he's bringing in extra aircraft to knock us about. And we're going to have several bombers hit here because for some reason they're very uncoordinated, but we're still making good effect to damaging this base. Another 13. And I'm going to give you a spoiler and tell you we do so much damage to this base, and our aircraft are, well, also the pilots are fatigued enough. I give them the day off on the 12th, so we won't be seeing this type of activity over New Caledonia when we watch the next turn resolution. See again, fortresses. I mean, this is just wave after wave. another 3 that wanted to get involved. You know, a little bit of damage here. Okay, we're sweeping. Of course, we're too late, but we sweep over and try to find some aircraft that aren't there. All right, so that ends the air phase. The K-10 fires at a destroyer and misses. It. We try to hug the bottom, as it says here, but again, this is shallower, and his depth charges are again pretty strong for shallow water. The Seawolf misses this really juicy target, this tanker, and we miss. So, but they don't find us. But that's 4 torpedoes. All right. As we go into the land phase, we've got the Japanese bombarding at Wenchao and a disabled squad to the Japanese. And then here's their deliberate attack at Sabang. One whole division, a tank regiment, and a naval guard unit, and we've got a poor battalion and regiment that get thoroughly trashed and forced to retreat. 26 to 1. We lose a lot. 1,700 troops. He loses 100. And you can see here the devastation to our units. All three survived, but they're pretty mangled. And down here, he's doing yet another deliberate attack. You can see it's roughly 3 to 1, but after the modifications, it's really 1 to 1. And so, again, a frustrating turn here for the Japanese. And then, in fact, he takes 31 casualties and we take 0. Monado, bombardment only, because as you can see, it's not quite 2 to 1. And I think he's wanting to be cautious here. We do have forts. I couldn't tell you right now what the level is there. And I don't know the terrain effects. But I'm really happy about Delhi getting to size 8 airfield, Christchurch to size 7. That means that'll be 8, hopefully short order. That allows us to get double up on our aviation support, which then in turn gives us the ability to lighten the burden, spread out our aviation support a little bit better. Anyway, as we wrap this up, I'll have a transition here for May 12. As soon as we get through and see the reinforcements come in, which we get a couple of ships here. Okay, I'll be right back. And welcome back. We're looking at May 12 now. The moonlight you can see is quite diminished. It's almost a new moon. And here is our see this pre-invasion action. I believe these are the units that came that we diverted back. Let's see, let me think about this. No, this is continually unloading. Okay. So we had a task force here that was amphibious, the one that dropped off the initial troops. I believe this task force here is the one that stayed here, and now it's just continuing to unload what was left. Okay. And we must have had 4 disabled vehicles that, again, were still on our transports and hadn't been unloaded yet. All right, the I-172 is in the same place as it basically is in the port trying to mess with or it's in with our ships. Okay, this, however, is the invasion group that I took back to Pearl, gathered additional troops, and brought back. That's what's here. And the I-172 was hoping to get a shot off, but we were able to cut them off, and they didn't get that shot off after all. But we didn't get at him either. Now the 019, I really need these Dutch subs to work to accomplish something because the American ones don't. But they completely miss a nice juicy transport there. Um, okay, and he's doing his own invasion still at Ndeni. This might just be bombardment only. I believe he's already unloaded all of his troops, so this is just a follow-up bombardment. Just to really loosen up what we've got holding here. Um, and he does wreck the port facilities, which, I mean, if he wins this battle, he'll have to be the one to repair it. We take a few casualties. Let's continue. All right, the Pensacola is the uh, flagship here at Johnston of the first unloading party, but it looks like they're shooting shells at the Japanese defenders as they continue to unload here. Actually, uh, okay, so I got that all wrong. Pardon me. This is the task force. This is the task force that came from San Francisco, sorry, more specifically Alameda. It was the surface ships that came from Alameda all the way here in time to get a bombardment in just before we unload troops. So they clearly were able to damage the base, beat up the troops, and hopefully help us take the island. And now this is the invasion force, the second group that recently came from Pearl. Um, Not that I need to give that kind of um, detail every time, but anyway, we don't lose anything on the unload at this. Well, actually, this is pre-invasion support, so um, now we're dropping troops off. So check this out, 440 casualties. But look at the number of disabled. At least there's no destroyed, but this is absurd numbers, like way up there. The New Orleans is, let's see. This is that initial invasion group. Anyway, there's because they're still unloading as well. All right, still unloading, still supporting the unloading process, etc., etc. Some more Allied casualties unloading, and some more. And that unloading will convert into. Okay, so the I-121 literally was able to hit this little maneuverable Corvette, which is a shame. So the Nigella, I believe, is there by itself trying to get revenge. We've damaged some tubes, some other damage. Nothing like see a little bit of damage here and there, but nothing like sink worthy. Sure, it's going to have to go back and most likely get repairs, but it'll survive. It'll be fine. But the Aster does sink. Now the Stingray hit but no explosion. So this is a nice size. Well, it looks like a nice size cargo ship, but we couldn't get it. All right, so we know where KB is again. Got to keep our eyes on that at all times. And we're bombing Kumok. So I was wrong, but I could have sworn I told. Maybe it was after today I told them to stop. That might be it. I don't know anymore. But in any case, we do get in there and get some damage, deal some damage. So, so the Nels are coming back to hit Monado. I think that's kind of an every turn type of thing right at this stage. And he has carrier aircraft bombing again. Again, he has a similar timetable, I guess, to Taken Denny. And some lilies come in to hit Cebu. And land-based sallies coming most likely from Tulagi. All right, some recon action going on over China and other areas. Let's see. Yep, continued bombing over here. Look at that, 30 runway hits. All right, Liberators bombing the actual ground troops. Look at that, some strong disablements there. And here's a small group of 2 fortresses, and even they get in some 28 casualties. And then I have a follow-up rate of 8 B-17s with 66 casualties. All right. And now PM phase. Some phantom spottings by our naval searches. Oh well. All right. Let's see. We're reconning over Kumuk because we want to keep our eyes on what he's got there. So again, he's escalating with strong bombing at Spolga because they're being resistant to his attacks. The troops there are. So we take even more casualties than we've been. Lily's bombing the crossroads there. Part of what helps is the rain, and part of it's the terrain. I think we got wooded rough there. Okay, a lot of recon, but the air phase is officially over. The drum is trying to make it back to Brisbane so it can get repaired, but it looks like it had some flotation issues. So the I-172 is still parked here at Johnston, but we catch it this time, and the flusser is trying to flush it out of the water, I guess, but taking on water, damaging with near misses, more water. So now it surfaces, And now the Cushing Monahan gets out the deck guns and starts firing. Now the Dale gets into the action. Um, Flusser, Cushing, Monahan. Yeah, 5-inch shells hitting a sub. That can't be good. But let me tell you, look at this thing tanking these shells. Now, sure, it's getting wrecked, but look at this. I mean, we're taking turns firing at this thing, but it's still sitting there. Yeah, severe damage. I mean, we're running out of ammo for this thing. So now it slips through the waves. Hopefully, we can trust this report here because subs keep coming back from the dead after being reported dead. We don't take any damage there, and we spotted it before it was able to get off any torpedoes. There it goes. I don't know if you can hear that, but it went. You could hear it, a sinking sound. And still doing some more unloading, I guess, taking some disablements in the process. And it looks like land phase, so we'll see what the Japanese are up to. More bombardments here. And more bombardments. Actually, this is the first time he's bombarding here in Australia. He takes a disabled non-combat unit, um, and that's it. All right, Johnston Island. Let's see. He's bombarding because of our invasion, and he actually takes a few casualties himself, 84, if you count that way, and we take no loss. And then he bombards a Sabolga, most likely out of frustration instead of doing just a general attack. Now, he's doing a deliberate attack at Indeni, and it looks like it might succeed considering, over 80 to 15 here. But let's see what happens. Alright, so we hold, and actually, okay, so check this out. 107 becomes 82. That's not a big difference, but 35 becomes 349. I mean, that's a tenfold increase. Now, part of it's terrain and part of it's forts, but it looks like we have decent leaders. But all this bombing and bombardment has caused disruption malice. And we took casualties ourselves too, by the way. So it wasn't just because it was 1 to 4 that we utterly destroyed him. 20 disabled, okay, 158 to 56, and then 20 disabled to 2, and 1 to 3, and then we lost some engineers in the process. So, well, he lost a gun, but so I wouldn't say it was pretty for us. So he's bombarding at Minato. I guess he's not sure if he can comfortably attack. So he's just taking it nice and slow. And then here's our shock attack due to being an atoll and the invasion there. So let's see how this goes. We capture it, and you can see here. Okay, so he had forts, which we still didn't diminish. Fort level 2, even with our combat engineers. And what, 6-to-1 odds, I think, or sorry, 4-to-1. And he lost 3760, which is not all of his troops. C units destroyed 1. In fact, he still had 45 disabled at least, if not more, squads left. But look at all this destroyed here. We did lose 17 squads. We lost 460 total casualties. and several disabled, and a few things destroyed. So certainly he came out worse out of that, but we still are going to have to recover from this. Um, and then you can see here a couple of units are wiped out by attrition. Um, so they must have been pretty badly beat up by the time that last turn came around. All right. So yeah, it looks more or less like we're at the end here of the resolution, but I'll talk just briefly about what I set up for the next turn. And because of the delay, because I thought I recorded it properly, etc., I went ahead and sent the turn. We got some air units and so forth. Anyway, most of these that are Calcutta came from Karachi. Um, well, I'll be right back. I'll finish telling the story in a second. So what I was saying is because I already finished the turn, sent it in, and I was when I was editing the video, I'm going to show you what I sent, the turn I sent, like as it is. Ships that I set up to move and so forth. So I won't necessarily discuss like, hey, I might do or I'm going to. It'll be more like this is what I ended up doing. So of course this was already heading back, but this is our battleships that bombarded Johnston earlier. They're going back to replenish, and well, they we won't need them for a little while. Um, But yeah, you can see we have some more things to unload, and as soon as we get enough unloaded, we'll pack back up the troops that we have here and get off this rock because we're way over capacity. Also, I wanted to point out that we've got Johnston Detachment is going to be heading over here to unload because they're going to take permanent control. And we also have some reinforcements that are scheduled to go to Johnston as soon as we can get transports over here to load them up. Pardon me. But yeah, and I basically flipped my LB-30s back to ASW because surely he's still going to have subs in the area. And the B-17s, I'm just having rest for a little bit till I figure out what the next phase is going to be for them. It could be to come down to the South Pacific and be used somewhere down here. Um, let's see. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else that stands out. I did push these guys into Luganville because while that feels very dangerous, I kind of want to get started. I don't know. I've got Cap here. I guess I put these AVP, these seaplane support, and we have a couple of APDs here. I think all told, maybe we've got enough ASW sitting here to maybe keep these Japanese submarines honest. We'll find out when I do the next turn resolution. Um, and then again, the goal is to march up here. But for this turn that I sent him, I set everybody to chill out and rest because the base is pretty much 100% damaged. And then maybe next I can work on the port, but for now I was content just resting. I had set, um, okay, so because the fatigue was one, I went ahead and swept over here one more time, and I had my B-25s bomb these troops here. Also, because the 6th Australian Division is rolling up on tracks, on trains, I'm taking the 7th and I'm going to move it here. We're going to basically have not only the seventh, the whole Seventh Infantry Division here, but I'm also bringing this field regiment. So first, it's going to rail up here, unload, and then go in and bombard, well, or counter battery something. Um, yeah. Up here on Java, because it's been quiet. Now it's only been quiet because he's gathered his forces, and now he has essentially two divisions plus here, plus two panzer, two tank brigades, plus two divisions. He's bound to start action up again, heading this way, and our bombers are resting and mostly training for night attacks because while it's only 3% moonlight, eventually it won't be, and then we could start terrorizing some bases again or something. And you can look here, Sabolga. I mean, we've got some troops here, but that are being feisty, but they can't last too much longer. In fact, let's take a look here. 12 disruption, 27 fatigue. That reminds me, let's come back to Ndeni here because we won with first. Let's look jungle. So that's times two. We do have a fort of three, and um, we have let's see, disruption. See this? 90 disruption here and 80 disruption here. This is what that malice was all about. But let's take a look at our leader. I mean, it looks like we have a pretty good land leader here. This colonel seems pretty amazing. I hate to lose him. Let's see what else we got. Nothing amazing here. Certainly not here. But, you know, we're holding. That leader must have made a pretty good impact because we had times 10 AV. Real quick too, he's chasing us to the west here. We're running away to here and going to head down. And as soon as we get to the coast, we can start picking him up again um, with our PBYs, boat planes. And that's about it. I've already discussed in the past that I'm not going to talk about backwater stuff. I'll do it next video. That'll be the when we talk about the May 13 and 14 resolution. After that, I'll talk about China and Burma and some of these other places that are what I'm going to call right now backwater because not a lot's happening. It's not the exciting part of the map. In the meantime, I will jump here and show you this thing that I probably showed you last time and didn't this time because, well, I'm recording again. One operational loss for the Japanese to 0, and incidentally, it was a Mavis. So that happened. Just a quick update on the latest. He's lost 386 zeros total, which is the most of all aircraft here. We've lost 202 P-40 Warhogs. The Bs are way down here. So if you add those two together, as well as some other things, he's still probably lost more zeros. A lot of them to ops. Actually, a lot to air-to-air. But we're hanging in there. We're holding our own. Also the most ops, probably because he's flying long-range cap. In any case, so far so good. I like these numbers. Hopefully it also means lost pilots. Anyway, so that's that. We didn't lose any pilots as a result of 0 planes lost. And again, just a real quick, we've got 4 aces flying and 5 total actually. 5 total with the one with 8 kills. So there's that. And then one last thing, let's talk about ships sunk last turn. So we did sink the I-172. He lost a sub and we lost an anti-sub asset. fair trade, right? This is a valuable sub, decent. It's got, I mean, it might not be the best sub in his arsenal, but I mean, you know, you don't want to lose, you probably don't want to lose anything. In any case, that's the update there. I guess that pretty much wraps it up. So I appreciate you joining me. Hopefully it was entertaining. And I guess we'll see you next time when we talk about the next, May 13 resolution and so forth. So take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your day and talk to you later. Bye.